All right, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and great glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Racha, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and salutations to the elect pushing this truth to the four corners of the earth in truth and in sincerity. All right, in this particular video, I want to touch on this video that you see on your screen right here. And this is, he's going to be touching on a story that a viewer is writing to him about when Spain went blacked out and how he was there. All of Spain had a blackout. All the electricity went out. All the communications was out. And he's going to tell a story on how the fear set in and how that was and what was the people's reaction. All right. And I want to pull a few precepts, along those lines, because eventually scenarios like this will happen. All right. You already have China that has been gaining access to critical infrastructure systems here in the United States for over 5 years. And the FBI has been giving a warning to the Senate that, hey, there's going to be a massive cyber attack of America when they invade Taiwan. It's been already said a numerous amount of times that when they invade Taiwan, that there's going to be a massive cyber attack that's going to disrupt. I'm going to quote off of them. Well, the news source that I got it off of is going to take out the whole electrical grid, all of all water treatment facilities, all communications, all banking, all medicine, etc. You see? And as we speak, you have China surrounding Taiwan right now, and information has got leaked that these drills that's going on right now around Taiwan are going to go live out of the blue. So they're going to be staging a drill, this is just a drill. And then they're going to go live and they're going to invade Taiwan. And when they do that, they're going to cyber attack America because Taiwan is an ally to America and they have to come to Taiwan's aid. So in order to cripple that, they're going to cyber attack America. Man, the FBI director said it's going to be 100 times worse than the AT&T hack about a year ago, which most people forgot because their phones came back on. But not 10 times, not 20 times, not 50 times worse, 100 times worse. All right. Now I want to play this video. Then I want to grab a few precepts. Or I might stop it in between him talking and grab some precepts and hop back into it. But this right here is a must watch. You have talks about supply chain shortages hitting, and much more shortages is on the way. This is due to Trump's tariffs. A lot of people don't know how tariffs works. When he puts tariffs on somebody's goods, like another country's goods, the importers have to pay that tariff to the U.S. government. So that 245% tariff on China, they have to pay that. And how they get their money back is they raise the prices in the stores. So we're seeing supply chain shortages. Why? Because a lot of these importers are not taking in a lot of these goods. And I would speculate that they just can't afford them due to these tariffs. So we're going to see supply chain shortages. Also, Dabu 7, if you're familiar with him, he was also talking about supply chain shortages and massive layoffs. And even in trucking, that was the first thing he said, in trucking. So, boom. Hey, here you go. And he said also, he's comparing these shortages that we're about to get to when the Crown Vic Royale happened. You remember that? 2019, 2020, 2021, those shortages and how people were acting and stockpiling on things. You remember how stores only said you can only get essential items and they would give certain amount of items per family? Yeah. But with no further ado, let's hop inside of this video.
A good idea can be turned into a weapon, and it was by the U.S. government of old. I've got a write-in right here from a viewer. He says, I was there when Spain went dark. It took less than 60 minutes for citizens across the country to panic and for that panic to set in strong. Cash was worthless. He says here's what actually happened and what happens when...
See, that can be an avenue that they use. Let's say China cyber attacks America. They can say that that cyber attack was so devastating to the actual system that money has become worthless because it stopped banking for an amount of time. So money has became worthless. Stock market crashes, all of that. So they have to bring in a new currency in order to make transactions in this new with this new currency. You're going to have to take the MOTB, right? The mark of the beast. Okay. Also, they can say, well, there's no proof of who you are. You know, the old way was you had a birth certificate, you had a social security number, and you can type them in the system and you can find you. You know, they can find you wherever you are in the United States. They can say that cyber attack tore that up, and now they are in need of a new system. So now everybody is required to have a digital ID. You know what I'm saying? And I say all that's because he said cash became worthless. All right? Cash became worthless. This causes for a whole new monetary system, a whole new system of doing things. And we know all roads is leading to this MOTB, the mark of the beast spoken about in Revelations 13:16, if you can follow.
Systems break down. You have no internet. You have no phone service. And you have no warning. Within a 60-minute period, lines were forming strong at the supermarkets and the gas stations. People didn't wait for answers. They acted on their own instincts of self-preservation. And that's when the rumors started. Someone, he says, told the group that it was a cyber attack. Others said that the UK, Germany, France, Italy, and other countries were hit at the exact same time. Because of no internet, no power, there was no way to confirm this. Fear spread faster than the facts did. He says he went to grab supplies, and it didn't matter if you had cash. Stores couldn't give you any change. If you only had a 50-euro bill for a 5-euro item, you either handed over the entire $50 or you walked away with nothing.
Right, because cash really became useless, and they were just doing that off of just like the confidence in their system, because eventually they would realize if that kept going on, that food is way more important than just paper. They'd rather keep that food than to give you than to trade it with you for some fucking money that's worthless. So, you know what I mean? So if the lights were just off for a period of time, let's say 2 months, very quickly, in like 2 months or less than 2 months, the dollar would be nothing.
He says he didn't have a radio at home, so that shows you how prepared he was. The only way to get updates was to walk to the car, turn on the vehicle, turn on the radio, and wait and listen.
Now, this was to keep on going. Now, he's going to say, well, the power eventually came back on, but that fear was there, and it was really real. But let's get 2 Ezra 15 and 19. Let's say the power does go out, and people are struggling out here, you know. 2 weeks go by, you might have, communities get together on some shit like, we're going to feed people, and, we just got to wait till the power come on. Let's just wait for word from the government, so forth and so on. Let's say 3-4 weeks, a month and a week go by. Man, people who don't have food are going to go out looking for that. They're going to be doing that already. But it's going to get real violent. I really say in the first couple weeks it's going to get violent, but you're going to have certain people going to try to, hold on and wait to hear something from the government. But before you know it, that shit going to spiral out of control. And the crime rate is going to go up. People are going to be looking for food. And that's going to be in a neighbor's house. You know, Bob and Jim, it was good neighbors with each other. They're going to be enemies toward one another, man. And they're going to spoil each other's houses because the lack of bread. 2 Ezra 15:19, and we read, a man shall have no pity on his neighbor. That's right. That neighbor that you was cool with, hey, he's not going to have any pity on you. All right? But shall destroy their houses with the sword. The modern day sword is the gun. Or really anything else, anything he can grab his hands on to take advantage of you. You know, so when he breaks in your house, that he can have the advantage, the upper hand, and spoil their goods, right? Because he's in that place to rob that place. And how can you spoil a house if you haven't bound up the strong man? So you got to kill. So what's going to happen is when they come inside of the house, they're going to usually kill the man that's in the house. And the woman, she's really a part of the spoils. So that's why you're going to have a lot of women, wives going to be ravished, right? And spoiling their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation, right? So imagine if there was a cyber attack. Everything came to a standstill. Don't forget, if all the power went out, then all the gas that you have in your vehicle, that's all the gas that you have. You know, because the gas pumps are electric. So there won't be any driving to there and getting gas. You see? So this is going to stop trucks from crossing from state to state to state to state to drop off their shipment. You know, them pallets of goods and then drive back and reload up and so forth and so on. That's stopping. So this right here caused a famine. 2 Ezra 6:22 speaks about empty warehouses. All right, how bad it's going to get. You're going to go inside of a grocery store and it's going to be empty in there. And Walmart and Costco is already saying that supply chain shortages is on the way, that people are about to see this in the next couple weeks, not months from now, not a year from now, the next couple weeks, like 2 weeks from now. If you just got paid, your next paycheck, because you know Esau hold your shit for like 2 weeks. So if you just got paid, your next paycheck, that should be when shit is getting dramatically expensive and you're seeing it's starting to look bare in them grocery stores. It's a 2 Ezra 6:22, and we read, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. Where do you sow seed? That's going to be the farm. You sow seed at the farm. It says they're going to appear unsown. So this is a vision on how the farms is going to be looking. All right. They're not going to have any crop. All right. They're not going to have anybody to work the land. So they ain't going to have no crop. Ain't going to be no animals either. Pursuant to Joel, the first chapter, 17 on down. It says the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty, right? Because if the farms, which that's where you get the food from, if they're empty, then what is the trucks bringing to the grocery stores? Nothing. And they might not even have the means to even gas up or diesel up and drive because it might be no electricity. Cyber attack might disrupt things. But right here you have, it says what? The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. So, hey, no matter how it gets to that, it's going to happen that one day you're going to go inside of the grocery store and it's going to be empty. Them shelves are going to be bare. To your Costco's, to your Super Walmarts, to your BJ's, to your Sam's Clubs, all right, to your Shop and Saves, your little, your little stores too. All of them are going to be empty. You see, the famine will set in. All right, because there's going to be a famine here in America. This is prophesied, The Lord uses famine as a correction, And well, I would say as a punishment. This is Ezekiel 14 and 13, and we read, Son of man, when a land sinneth against me by trespassing grievously, then will I stretch out mine hand upon it, and will break the staff of bread thereof, and will send famine upon it, and will cut off man and beast from it. Right. So Yahweh Bashim Yahushua uses famine as a punishment. All right. So all those who was, doing whatever they wanted to do, they was fulfilling the lust of the flesh. You was smoking your weed. You was drinking your drink, being a drunkard, sleeping with whoever you want to sleep with. You was eating whatever you wanted to eat. You was doing as thy wilt. You was under that Aleister Crowley spirit. You did as thy wilt here in Babylon, and you looked at the prophets and you said, don't judge me. And if you are going to say something to me, prophesy unto me smooth things. Prophesy unto me deceit. If this was you, we'll prepare to partake in the destructions that's coming upon this place, man. Famine, pestilence. You think Crown Vic Royale was the only thing? No, you have Dr. Fauci about 2 weeks ago talked about a new pandemic. And he said this one for sure. All right, he said it's going to hit. So prepare for that. So you're talking about famine, pestilence, race war, civil wars, martial law, all hell breaking loose. If you didn't please Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, which means you practice these laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of your abilities, you clean your ways up, you stop living an abominable lifestyle, and you turn from the wicked ways and seek him. If you haven't done that, then you ass out. If you have, the Lord is going to save you in these times. And Psalms 91, 9 and 10. If you make the Lord your refuge, no plague shall come nigh thy dwelling. I'm loosely quoting it. So the Lord got you. You just have to make your body a living sacrifice. Which a sacrifice, that gets into dying daily. How do you die daily? Well, you become better and you strive to be better every day. All right, wherever it takes for you to be acceptable in the sight of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, that's what you do. You ask the Lord to test you. You ask the Lord to make you better, to put you in that fire, to purge out the impurities in you. So that when all hell breaks loose, you appear unto him clean. All right? Well, it's possible, because all righteousness is as filthy rags. So, let me play a little bit more of this and then we exit it.
To the car, turn on the vehicle, turn on the radio, and wait and listen. It was the only working source of information. Now, he says the power eventually came back, but the illusion of safety did not. It didn't take days. It didn't even take hours for society to start to break apart. It took minutes. And he says, while everybody here at home, we have opportunity right now. We can take the time to get supplies for ourselves. We can do this today, before things like this happen to American citizens, to our family members across the world. Moving forward, the Israeli army,
Right. So, I just wanted to touch on that. I hope it was edifying, and with that, I'm going to say shalom.